Hey guys, it's Doc, and I actually decided to come back and make a little intro for this video because I decided to put everything on this video. I'm going to put Humichar information, I'm going to put what it is, I'm going to talk about biochar, I'm going to talk about supply issues that are currently going on. I'm going to also put, we're cutting back here, maybe as you can hear, we're going to do the organic treatment, we're going to put out Humichar, we're going to put out PGF Complete, we're going to spray Super Juice with some added iron, we got a whole bunch of stuff, so the video is going to be a little bit long, but you need to watch the information part if you want to learn about Humichar and biochar and what's going on and what it is. So here we go. Hey guys, it's Doc, and today's video is probably the most important video I'm doing all year in relation to Humichar, because not only am I going to explain what Humichar is, we're going to break it down a little bit, we're going to talk about how you apply it, how it works, we're actually going to put it down, we're going to do a bunch of different stuff, and it's going to answer questions that you might have. So hold on one second. Hey guys, there's going to be a lot of content in this video, and it's going to answer a lot of questions. So you kind of got to watch the video. You can't just, it's not one of those 2-minute entertaining videos. This is more of a knowledge and learning video. It should answer most of your questions, I hope. And here's how we're going to do it. First of all, make sure you subscribe because we got 30 videos coming out. And next, every time I produce a video, we also take the time to produce a new web page that's associated with that video. So in the description below, click it. It'll take you to our website and everything I'm talking about. So if I talk about a spreader, if I talk about a product, if I talk about a resource that you guys need to watch, like I'm going to ask you to watch a cool video, I'll put it on that page. So it's all there, so you don't have to go searching for it. Okay, so we're gonna break this down into a couple of parts on this video. Number one, what is Humichar? We're gonna explain what Humichar is and how it was designed, how it was developed. Number two, we're going to talk about biochar and how biochar works and a little bit about how humic acid works. I'm going to ask you to watch a cool video that if you want to truly understand biochar and how significant and what impact it can make on your soils, both in your gardens and on your lawn, I'm going to ask you to watch a video. I'll put a link to it on that page. We're going to show you how to apply the biochar, and we're also probably going to put out some of this cheap organic material. I don't like to call it organic fertilizer, but basically it's organic fertilizer that you can buy for about 14 bucks for a 50-pound bag. And I'll put a link again. If I'm talking about it, where is it? It's on the page. So go to the page if you have a question about it. First, before I start off, I do want to address one issue, and that's about why Humichar has been so hard to get this year, and I also want to talk about the price real quick, the temporary price change on it. Humichar is a very slow process. It's a very nasty, messy process to make. Humichar is made into DG particles. We take humic acid, dry biochar, blend it, turn it into these particles, and unfortunately the plant turns into this black cloud. We have to build special ventilation systems, people have to wear special protections, and it's just an absolute mess. So it's a slow process. That's number one. Number two, a little thing called the virus came by, and what's happening in our industry is that some states are completely shutting down lawn care manufacturers. They're calling them non-essential, ordering them to shut down. You have plants completely shutting down, number one. Number two, if a plant is up and running, if someone tests positive in that plant, what has to happen? You got to close the plant down for 2 or 3 days and do a full cleaning and then get production back up. So that's doing it. So let me explain. Anderson's called me a little while back and said, look, they already did one run and it sold out in 6 hours. They got it up to Amazon. We're working on the second run, and they basically said, look, here's the deal. Our local supplier of this really, really high quality biochar, because it's only one kind that they use, which is made from hardwoods, it's cooked at a certain temperature, it's extremely, I don't want to call it rare, but it's a very selective process. Their local suppliers are basically being shut down by the governments, by the state or federal, whatever it is, because of this virus situation that's going on. So they said, we're probably not going to be able to have another production run for a while unless we go all the way to California and Washington and import and bring in some of the stuff all the way across the country, and our shipping costs are going to be high. So I'm warning you. This next batch that's going up there is probably going to be about $9 a bag higher than the previous batch. It's a temporary solution, but they weren't going to do it, and I said, look, I said $9 a bag extra is not a big deal to me, and it's not a big deal to most people. I think they understand what's going on in the country right now. The problem is not being able to get it. It's kind of like I always say, $5 a gallon for gas is not a big problem. The problem is when you can't get the gas at $5 a gallon. It's the same sort of thing. So if you want to wait until the price comes down, the $9 temporary thing, you can wait till the fall, or whenever it goes down, you can wait on it. But I wouldn't. If I were you, I would go ahead and when it hits Amazon in the next couple of weeks, order it. There's 2 truckloads going up, and I'm imagine that they'll sell out probably in 24 hours. Okay, enough on that. So let's talk about what biochar is and how it came into existence. Anderson's has a product called Humic DG. Basically, it takes humic acid, dry humic acid, this black looking stuff, and they make it really fine, and then they put it into these fine round pellets that are DG particles. And DG stands for dispersible granule. So when water touches this granule, within a couple minutes, it basically explodes or expands into thousands and thousands of subparticles. So it doesn't get moved by mower blades. It doesn't get washed away. It's just, and it hides, immediately goes down through the grass, through the thatch layer, and sits on top of your soil. That's the whole principle of a DG particle. And they make several products in DG particles. They make pre-emergent, they make fungicide, they make all kinds of things, and they make the humic acid. So I went to them last year and I said, I have an idea. I said, let's gather up the team and let's see if we can make this product. I said, I want to make something called Humichar. And Humichar would be a 50-50 blend of biochar and Humichar, but in the DG particle. They said, let's see if we do it. They sent it to their lab worked on it, and about a month later they said, guess what? Here it is. Matter of fact, I'm going to get you the first bag. Let me grab it. So I sort of keep this as a memento in my office up on my shelf, because this is the very first lab production round of Humichar. It's a little small bag. They sent me a sample of it and said, tell us what you think, and it's beautiful. So this is 50-50 biochar and humic acid. That's what it is. And this is the very first. It's kind of cool. And the reason being is that I spent a lot of time back here on different lawns testing humic and biochar, getting it down into the soil, and we had some really fantastic results. And I said, look, why don't we blend it 50-50 and put it in your DG particle? Now we have the perfect product. So that's how Humichar came into existence. I actually was the one that thought of this product, and I approached them. I said, you guys figure out how to make it, see if you can make it, and they figured out how to make it. So let's talk about what Humichar is. Humichar, like I said, is 50-50. It's humic acid and biochar. It's micronized so that once you wet it, it's immediately down through the thatch. The problem with biochar, if it's not micronized, it will not reach your soil and it will not penetrate into your soil through your lawn, because the majority of biochar is used in agriculture. In other words, you're tilling it into the soil so it can reach the root zones. Well, if biochar is not around the root zones of a plant, it doesn't do any good. It doesn't do any good sitting on the surface. It has to get down to the root zones, and that's why you have to micronize it. Well, if you turn it into a fine powder, it's just nasty trying to spread it. Humichar is the only biochar product on the market that you can put into a spreader, evenly spread it cleanly without a mess, and then within 5 minutes, it's through your grass, through your thatch layer, and sitting on top of your soil, starting to work into your soil. There's no other product out there like that. Again, that combination of the DG particle, mix of Humichar and biochar. So it's really cool. The other important point, a lot of people ask about, well, can I put it out with this, or can Humichar or the biochar basically contains nothing. It's nothing. This is where I want you to start with this process. Humichar is basically a carbon skeleton, and I like to call it a 100-year sponge. And what does that mean? It means that Basically, you're putting pieces of carbon into your soil that are going to be there for 200 years. And what they're going to do is they're going to absorb nutrients, they're going to absorb microbial activity, and they're going to absorb water, all the good things for our soil. And they're going to hold it in there. So when rains come through, instead of all that leaching out of through the soils, it's held inside the biochar and it's available to the plant. So when we put out biochar on our soil, or we put it in our garden, basically we are producing positive, tiny millions and millions and millions of tiny little healthy sponges that we're putting in, and these little sponges last for over 200 years in your soil. Next question that comes up whenever I say that is, well, if I put it out, why do I need to put it out again? It's because it's such a slow process to try and get it to work down through into your lawn soil. Why? Because we don't till up our lawns. If you're tilling up your lawn, then it's not a big deal, but nobody tills up their lawn. So it just takes a long time. I always say that it takes about, when you put Humichar down, you can probably get half an inch of penetration to an inch of penetration of the biochar per season into your soil. So it's a repeated process. People ask how often I can put it down. You can put it down every week if you want. There's nothing in it. Remember, there's no nutrients in this. You cannot burn. You can't overfeed. It's basically a host for all the good things in your lawn. So yes, if you wanted to put out Humichar every single week on your lawn, you could do that. How heavy? You can put out as heavy as you want on your lawn. We've done test strips where we basically turn a test strip black and there's no negative effects. In fact, there's a positive effect. So you can put it out extremely heavy. The only thing that I like to do is the time of the year. I like to put it out any time during the growing season. So that's from, late winter, early spring, all the way through the fall, we can put it out. And that's why I'm saying, getting Humichar is slow, but you can put it out at any time, so it's no big deal. The video that I want you to watch that will really change your life as far as biochar goes. Biochar has been around for thousands and thousands of years. And this video, I'll put a link to it, it's really cool. It's kind of like you're going back in high school, but the BBC did a wonderful video about explaining how ancient civilizations were able to grow crops and turn the worst soil into the world's best soil through the use of biochar, and how researchers found this out and the studies on it. It's an incredible video. You have to watch this video. Now I'm going to embed that video in the description below. Watch the BBC. And people that have watched that video, I've asked them to watch it, say, dude, I watched that video and it's really cool and it's really educational. It helped me learn about biochar. So watch that video. So how do you apply biochar? Just like a regular lawn spreader. I'll show you here in a minute. It looks just like any kind of pelletized lawn product. But here's the process I like to do. You can just put out biochar and you can walk away from it. The rains will come and it'll work into the soil. That's it, you're done, okay? So put out your biochar. I like to put out 1 bag per 10,000 square feet roughly, or even a little bit heavier than that. So on my lawn, which is about 17,000 square feet, I'm gonna put out 2 full bags of it on my lawn today. That's what we're gonna do. So you put it out and walk away, you're done. I like to take an additional step. What I like to do is if you watch that video, you'll understand that the way that the ancient civilizations, and now for decades, the scientists have figured out that if you take biochar and you mix it in with organic material, that the microbes go in and digest, and this whole process produces this dark, rich soil, and it also produces nutrients. So what I like to do is anytime I put out my biochar, I like to put out this cheap organic matter that's basically chicken feed. It's basically chicken feed. If you look at organic fertilizers are basically some form of legume product. In other words, they're a bean, they're a soybean that have a lot of protein inside of it. And that's what this stuff is. This stuff has soybean, it has wheat, it has all these kind of things ground up in this cheap product that I'll link in the description below. It actually works inside of a lawn spreader. And you want to buy that exact product. I can't stress that enough, because they may make medicated versions of this, which you do not want. They make pelletized versions of this, which you do not want. You want the granules that I link to in the description below. Then you can, if it's through a Tractor Supply Centers, and if you can pick it up, you pick it up at the store, and it's dirt cheap. It's really not a shippable item, unfortunately, and maybe if you go look at that, you might be able to find it somewhere else at another local feed store. Man, I'll tell you what, this is a butt whipping. Answer the question that everyone always asks. Can I put down PGF Complete and Humichar the same day? Can I put down this and that the same day? Today, because we had this rain and I finished my aeration, everything was done, I'm going to put down everything pretty much. Light coat of PGF Complete, Humichar, organic matter, and I'm going to spray super juice with a little bit of iron and some microbial pack. I haven't really done anything to this lawn probably it's been a few weeks now. So we had that heavy rain. I did the aeration, and we just had a heavy rain last night. We got a full 1.25 inches of rain from the storms. But step number one is to sweep the lawn, which is a pain in the butt. See what I mean? They're just everywhere in here. Old fat guy has to come out here with the sweeper and sweep. I'm waiting on Jacob, but I figured I'd go ahead. I've got all the lawn done except for this side sweeping. And then we're going to cut it. PGF Complete, Humichar, organic matter, super juice. So Jacob is here and he's cutting. I already swept the whole lawn. Then I went inside and sat down. It's exhausting. He's gonna cut, then I'm gonna come out. Let me show you what I'm putting down. By the way, I'm gonna be putting down PGF Complete 16-4-8 fertilizer, light coat. I'm gonna be putting out a 40-pound bag of Humichar. And then I've got two 50-pound bags of the organic matter I'm going to be putting down. I actually stopped and adjusted my spreader, and I'm going to adjust it one more time because I want this organic matter to go out pretty heavy. Remember, it's just organic matter. It's like a mix of soybeans and wheats and corn and all kinds of things ground up, and that's the organic matter. Like in the video I showed you that you should watch, this is the organic matter we're mixing in with the biochar to help turn our lawn slowly that dark terra preta or black soil is what we're trying to get to. So that's what I'm putting it out like right there. PGF Complete we're going to put in the the Anderson's new spreader. Humichar, we're going to put in the big agrifab. I'll let Jacob do the Humichar and I'll do the PGF Complete. People always ask about my settings, and really just over 1/4 of an inch on your Humichar is fine. There really is no number associated with it, but if you have a broadcast spreader, sort of get in the mindset that you're just over 1/4 of an inch, and that's a moderate, that's a kind of a light rate. Same thing with PGF Complete. PGF Complete is a really tiny particle, so it's barely 1/4 of an inch usually. You just sort of play it by ear. That's the way I do it, and I just have a feel for it now. And I'll show you guys what it looks like in a minute. And then I'm going to put PGF Complete. I'm going to put PGF Complete in the Andersons. I may not need this whole bag, to be honest. Alright, so this is the Humichar. Gorgeous stuff. PGF Complete, super fine particles. Everything that your lawn needs is in there. Hey guys, so I'm really not going to spend a lot of time with this. Basically, I'm just mixing up super juice. Like I said, I got about 10,000 square feet back here, let's say. So that means I'm going to need 5, 6, maybe more. So I'm going to mix up 8 bottles of my hose end sprayer. 8 bottles of this. 8 times 2,000 square feet per bottle is about 16,000, and I know I go slower than that. I'm only going to put in a few cups of super juice. This really isn't about the nutrition in super juice today. Really what I'm wanting to put it in for is I'm really wanting the sea kelp and humic in this right now. There isn't any other product I put on my lawn that has sea kelp in it. So I really want the sea kelp is what I'm going after. And I'm going to mix in my microbial pack. This is the microbial pack, and you only need, for this whole bucket, I only need about a tablespoon of this. And then, because there's millions and millions of microbes in here. So I only need about a tablespoon. And again, that's really good for the digestive microbial process and digestive process of this organic matter I'm putting on. Now, I'm not going to do this step until the sun sets and it gets cooler. I talked about that in the last video. I'm going to put everything out today, and then tonight, the last thing I'm going to do is come out and spray this. And this is where I want you to be a little bit careful, because PGF Complete is strong in iron. It has 3% iron. Let's see here. For lawns, it's 2.5 gallons per acre. So you're supposed to, this is what? This is a gallon. So this would technically cover less than half an acre. I'm only going to put in about three cups of it. I just want a little bit of iron, because once it rains and once that PGF Complete kicks in, the iron will kick in and it just really turns bright green. So I don't want to overdo it. If you overdo iron, you can start to get this gray sort of steel look on your grass. It takes a while for it to go away. So super juice, micro pack, a little bit of this, and that's about it. And it'll be a nighttime spray on top of what else I'm doing. But I got to kill some time while he's here. Okay, man, it's been a long day, but this is the last step. And what I did was I just mixed up 2 gallons of hot water. I put in about 3 cups or so, 3 or 4 cups of super juice. I put in 3 cups of liquid iron, and then I put in about a tablespoon or 2 of the microbial pack. And I did put in a little bit of green dye just so I could make sure I don't have any bottle clogs. But what you'll see, I'll come out here, maybe even come out here tomorrow morning, you'll see a very distinctive difference from the overnight. Now, understand this concept, and I've said this before. I'm coming out and I'm going to spray when that sun dips down below the tree line over there. The temperature is going to start to drop, and what ends up happening usually, as the temperature drops, you start to get a little bit, the grass starts to get a little bit damp. That's what I want to wait for. So I spray this super juice, and I get all this stuff wet. So the Humichar gets wet, the fertilizer gets wet, the organic matter gets wet. And how long does it stay wet? It's going to stay wet all night long, because the temperature is going to keep dropping. And in the morning, I'm going to come out, and what's going to be on the top of the grass in the morning? A layer of dew. So this is the really cool part, and this is the OCD part, which you don't have to do. You can just put it out and walk away and let nature take its course. But if you really want to be OCD about it, I come out here at late afternoon, I spray it. It's going to sit all night and stay wet. And then first thing in the morning, I'll just come out here, and I'll just come out here with a hose and just sort of spray around and blow that organic matter down into the grass. And I'm done. I'm done for really... I won't have to do anything back here for a month, I don't think, because I'll be good. I'm pretty much done with my lawn already. I'm done with my lawn care pretty much in, what is this, April, mid-April. My lawn is thick, it's green, it's completely spread out. I'm cutting it short, it looks great. Everything's all set, pretty cool. This is getting close to the end of the video, but this is my main point that I want to make here. So last night I came out and I sprayed with super juice with a little bit of iron and microbial pack. And then what happened overnight? See all the dew on my grass? I mean, it's just soaking wet. My feet will be soaked. And if I look around now, because after I sprayed the super juice, later I actually came back and wet it again a little bit, but all this crumble, all this organic matter I put out, basically has disappeared. It's gone. I can still see a few pieces of it, but now if I want to, what I can do is I can grab my hose and I can just walk. Now this is for people that are bored. This is OCD bored people that, you know, you're locked up, you got nothing else to do. Now I can come out if I wanted to and just spray it further down in. Everything will basically be through the grass, through the thatch layer, and on the soil now. It's all going to be down there together. Got it? That's why I love to do this method. And a lot of people say, man, that's a lot of work. I don't have to do anything for a month back here now. You know, I might put some more organic matter, maybe some more Humichar in a couple weeks. But it's just gorgeous back here. Okay, so you can see my footprints going through here, showing the dew on the grass. And a lot of people sort of laugh at this step, saying, man, don't you have anything better to do? I really don't. We're under lockdown. I got nothing else to do. And I gotta be honest, I love mornings, and this is the most enjoyable, peaceful part of my day. Hear the birds, sun's coming up, and I just come out here and all I do is I just take this little nozzle. You don't have the hose pressure I do, so you might have to use a regular nozzle. And I just sort of walk along and just sort of blow it all down. I'll show you what I'm doing here. So that's pretty much it. And I'll do the yard. If I do this, the front yard takes me about 10 minutes to do this. The back probably takes me about 20 minutes. It's just enjoyable, peaceful. So anyways, that's all done. Like I said, the reason why I like to do this last blow-in step is what ends up happening is I end up pushing this organic matter down into that thatch. The humichar spreads out, everything sort of interacts all together down into that thatch layer. Does that make sense? So now that I've put it out, it's sat overnight, it's all been wet, it's all gotten kind of mushy. That's a good term, that's a technical term, mushy. And then I just blow it all down into my thatch layer. Now remember, you don't have to do this step. I'm just being OCD because there's not a whole lot else to do right now, but I really like this. This is sort of that this golf mindset that where when you walk away from a fairway or you walk away from a green, it's in a playable condition. That's what we call it. Is it in a playable condition? And that's just my background. So when I walk away from something, I want it in playable condition. And my yard is playable condition. Most of that, everything is just blown in and all mixed together. Late this afternoon, after the sun's hit this all day, I'll come out and it'll just be dark green and be beautiful. It's just so thick for this time of year. I can't believe how thick this lawn is. It's amazing. Okay, so remember, there's going to be supply issues. So if you see something that you need, order it early. Be patient with Humichar. There's not a whole lot we can do. If you don't want to pay the extra $9 or something, don't buy it. That's all I gotta say. There's plenty of people that need it and that want it. Just wait for the fall then, when hopefully all this lockdown stuff and virus stuff will all be handled. Hopefully maybe in the fall, and stuff will be back to normal. But for right now, nothing is normal. I'll tell you right now. Everything supply-wise is all running short. So be safe. Stay inside. Or stay outside in the yard. I'll talk to you later. Doc.